I'm looking at some of the coins that I've stacked over the years, and I'm thinking about silver price. It's bouncing around, but generally going up. I'm thinking about the value of my stack going up, and then I come across this article, Paper versus Physical, 408 ounce paper silver to 1 ounce of physical silver. What exactly does this mean? And if it's true, what does it mean for the price of silver and the value of my stack? Let's get into it.
So I went down to the bar and found my fate, because I don't wanna be stuck in the good old days. That's when you say, I swear you ain't seen nothing yet.
The new cross and flag gold bars, exclusively at sdbullion.com. Thank you so much for watching. I do sincerely appreciate it. In this video, I want to talk about why it's so important to be buying physical silver and not just a paper silver product. I've been stacking physical silver for nearly 7 years now, and I've learned a lot along my journey. But one of the most important things is that if you can't hold it, you don't own it. So let's talk about the paper silver to physical silver ratio. Check out this tweet from Jesse Colombo. He says, did you know that there are 408 ounces of paper silver for every 1 ounce of actual physical silver? That could conceivably lead to a mad dash for scarce real silver, sending prices to astounding levels. I mean, look at this chart. You can barely see the little sliver of real silver and all of this paper silver surrounding it. Getting back to the article, it says silver has surged to $35 per ounce over the past 2 weeks, setting the stage for what many analysts believe could be a major rally in the precious metals market. However, the real story behind this price spike lies in a startling development. The paper to silver ratio is skyrocketed to 408 to 1, according to the US debt clock. This means each ounce of physical silver now theoretically backs 408 ounces of paper silver derivatives. So we're going to go to the US debt clock and see what they have to say about this. Here we are. If you've never seen the US debt clock before, it kind of looks intimidating. There's a lot of numbers, but we're going to zoom into what we need to see, the paper to silver ratio. Now, they're saying it is currently 408.69 to 1. So what is their definition, though, of the paper to silver ratio? Now, their definition is the paper to silver / gold ratio. It works for silver or gold, so I'm just going to use the word silver because that's what we're talking about. But it is the number of paper silver ounces traded on the major world exchanges divided by the actual world production in ounces. So it's talking about all of the paper silver, right? This is like the ETFs, the different exchanges, divided by how many ounces have been mined this year. It's not every year. It's not the past 10 years. It's only this year. How much silver has come out of the ground? What is that ratio? Now, according to the US debt clock, so far this year, there's been 755 million ounces of silver mined. On the right, we see the precious metal reserves. This is how much silver is still in the ground that we've already found. We know we can mine it out of the ground. It's slowly ticking down as the silver gets mined this year. Now, I do want to point out this is just the total year to date. By the end of the year, this number will go up to around 1 billion. So that is usually how much silver gets mined every year, 1 billion ounces. So they're basing the ratio off of that number, not the total amount of silver that is available in above ground stockpiles. So here is where I start to think that the numbers are a little bit off, the 408 to 1. Why are they basing this off of the amount of silver that is being mined every year and not the amount of silver that is out there available in above ground inventories? Is that not a better number to use? Because what if silver mining really slows down and they're only mining, a few 100,000 ounces every year? Then this ratio is going to get really out of whack. So I think it's better to look at how much silver is out there and available and compare that to all of the paper trading that is going on. I think that is a much more interesting ratio to look at. So how much silver is actually available out there. Now we're looking at the World Silver Survey put out by the Silver Institute, and the number that they come up with for last year was around 1.2 billion ounces of silver in identifiable silver bullion inventories. So this number is very close to the billion ounces that gets mined every single year. So if we go off this information, then it seems like the ratio is pretty accurate. However, if we take a listen to what Jeffery Christian said from CPM Group, the numbers are quite different. One of the numbers that was thrown around was 1.2 billion ounces of silver in above ground stockpiles. From your own research, what should that number look like?
Probably closer to 5.5 billion ounces of refined silver in either bar form or coin form.
And who would be holding this silver? Is this private stackers? Is this banks? Where is the silver located?
The vast majority of it is owned by investors. And those investors range from stackers and retail investors to high net worth individuals and some institutional investors.
Now, I think that's the actual number, 5.5 billion ounces. I mean, that is the silver that is above ground. And sure, a lot of it is being held by investors who aren't willing to let it go right now. But if the price of silver goes high enough, surely some of them or most of them would let it go for, say, $100 an ounce or $1,000 an ounce. So we're going to take this 408. We're not going to go to 1. We're going to make it easy. We're going to turn this into a 5.5. So let's just do a little bit of simple math here. 408 divided by 5.5, we get 74 to 1. I think this is a more reasonable ratio, but it does beg the question, is it still absurd? I mean, if we take every single ounce of silver that's refined above ground, 5.5 billion ounces of them, and we take all of the paper trades going on right now for silver, that's still 74 hands reaching for 1 single ounce of silver. I mean, the bottom line is, if those people who are buying the paper silver wanted to get real silver out of it, it's simply not going to happen. There's not enough silver to go around. So if you want to go with the 408 to 1, the paper trades versus the silver mined in a year, or if you want to go with the 74 to 1, the paper trades versus how much silver bullion is out there, either way, there is way more paper trading of silver going on than there is physical silver. This ratio is screaming that you need to hold the physical silver, because if you don't hold it, you simply don't own it, and you never will. So I think that's one of the things that I've discovered over the years, is that if you want silver, you simply have to buy silver. That's the bottom line. And if you're curious how Jeffery Christian came up with that 5.5 billion ounces of silver out there and why that number is so much different than the 1.2 billion from the Silver Institute, I did a whole interview with him. It's almost an hour long. There are so many silver industry lies exposed in that video. Feel free to check it out. I got the link right here at the end of this video.